The FIFA World Cup is the most watched sporting event on the planet, but it almost never happened. It took 26 years of persuasion just to convince 13 teams to participate in the very first tournament. In the early 1900s, football was already established at the Olympics, and many didn't see the need for a separate competition. Travel was also a significant barrier. Without commercial flights, crossing the ocean required a journey of several weeks by boat. Simply getting the event to kick off, a term we now use to mean starting any major project, required an immense logistical effort that most nations weren't ready to undertake. To reach the 1930 host country of Uruguay, European teams like France, Belgium, and Romania all crowded onto a single ship called the Conte Verde for the long trip across the Atlantic. To stay fit, the players used the wooden deck of the ship as a training ground, preparing for their first match, the official 90-minute game they had traveled thousands of miles to play. When they finally arrived, they stepped onto what the rest of the world calls the pitch, rather than a soccer field. Only 13 teams made it to Uruguay for that first tournament. But as the home fans packed the stadium to watch their team win the final against Argentina, it was clear that the standalone tournament had successfully captured the public's imagination. That early momentum was interrupted by World War II, which forced the cancellation of the 1942 and 1946 cycles. When the World Cup finally returned in 1950, hosted by Brazil, it was the first time many of these nations had competed on a global stage in over a decade. Tens of thousands of fans filled the stands, taking on the role of the 12th man. Since a team has 11 players on the pitch, the energy of a passionate crowd is often described as an extra player helping the home team. The sport's popularity exploded in Brazil. After years of global conflict, the massive attendance at the 1950 tournament transformed the World Cup into a recurring fixture on the global calendar. As the tournament grew, roles became iconic. The goalkeeper is the only player allowed to use hands in the penalty area. The referee ensures everyone follows the rules. Together, these 11 athletes make up the starting lineup. In a high-stakes tournament, mistakes are amplified. If a player accidentally scores against their own team, it's known as an own goal, a phrase used in everyday English to describe someone accidentally harming their own interests. Avoiding errors requires extreme focus. Germany's Miroslav Klose became a legend not through flashy play, but through consistent positioning and discipline maintained over 12 years. Klose eventually scored 16 goals across 4 tournaments, the highest in history. His record was built on a simple principle. He kept his eye on the ball, staying focused on his target while others were distracted by flair. The 2026 World Cup reflects how much the event has scaled. For the first time, 3 countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico, will share the logistical load. This partnership is necessary because the tournament is expanding to 48 teams, resulting in 104 matches. The games will be held at iconic venues across the continent, including the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, which will host the opening match. The expansion is a point of debate. Some argue it dilutes the competition, while others see it as a necessary move for inclusion, giving more nations a chance to compete globally. With a larger knockout phase, the pressure to perform is immediate. To survive, teams must be entirely on the ball, alert from the first whistle. We are also seeing a change of the guard. As icons like Lionel Messi likely enter their final World Cup, the spotlight is shifting toward players like Mbappe and Jude Bellingham. The World Cup has grown from a 13-team experiment into a phenomenon that has shaped our global language. It has given us a way to describe our own goals and focus, and even a way to accept life's unpredictability by simply saying, "That's football."